Smashing Pumpkins. No, I'm sorry. The Smashing Pumpkins. Certainly not an underrated band, but perhaps an overlooked one. They, and by they apparently I mean almost exclusively Billy Corgan, have written some of the greatest albums of all time. They've also written these. I've completely wiped these from my memory, and I suggest you do the same. Today, nice, I'm going to rank every single Smashing Pumpkins song from worst to best. By every song, I mean only these. A quick history lesson, the band broke up back in the year 2000 due to Billy Corgan being, quote, the worst person in the world. That quote is from me, but it's pretty close to true. Anyway, I'm not going to cover anything after the band's first breakup in order to keep this video at a watchable length and also to preserve my sanity. And your sanity. In a way, I'm a hero. Whatever. Let's hop in. Gish, the band's first full-length record released way back in 1991. The critics like it. The fans like it. I like it. It's good stuff. A little sample of what Billy and the band have to offer. It might not be their best work, but damn it if it isn't good. I Am One. If this was the first I heard from this band, I would immediately become a fan. This is incredible. Not Billy's best vocal performance, but fuck man, everything else here is damn good. Amazing tier for now. Siva. Goddamn, another pretty damn good track. Not quite as good as the last one, but still really good stuff. The first track we become acquainted with Billy's guitar skill. Really, really good tier. Rhinoceros, one of my favorite Smashing Pumpkins songs ever. Absolutely phenomenal track. Feels almost a little progressive to me, and goddamn it if I don't like a progressive track. This is incredible. God tier. Bury Me. Man, this album just doesn't miss. I hope that carries on for the rest of this record. This is great. Top of the really good tier. Crush. Okay, is this objectively a world-breaking song? No, but I like it. It's a really sweet song. Something the band does better in the future, but I think this is good stuff. Top of really good. Please don't hurt me. Suffer. This might be the weakest track so far. By no means bad, it's just nothing very special. Drags a little bit in the second half of this song for me. Okay tier for now. Snail. And just when I thought they lost me, I'm pulled right back in. This is much better. Same length as the last track, but this one feels shorter to me. It's not my favorite here, but it's damn good. Above Siva in the really good tier. Tristessa. This is pretty good too. I like the guitar a lot here. Pretty catchy track. Billy's vocals here do lack a little bit. It's nothing special, but it's not bad. Textbook good tier song. Window Pane. This is not as good. I don't like this that much. I do like the lyricism and I guess the concept of the song. It's just not executed very well. It's not a very fun listen. Top of the okay tier. Daydream. I like this a lot actually. I like the vocals from Darcy a lot. Not to say she should have replaced Billy, but it's really refreshing on this track and a great way to close out this record, for sure. Very beautiful track. Masterpiece tier. On to my personal favorite Smashing Pumpkins record and one of my favorite albums of all time. The great, the iconic, the damn near flawless Siamese Dream. It's got the hits, it's got the deep cuts, it's got it all. Let's hop in. Cherub Rock, undoubtedly one of the greatest album openers of all time, and for damn good reason. It's iconic, it's a perfect tone setter for this record, it's ridiculously good. Top of the masterpiece tier. Quiet, another damn good track. I love the chorus here a lot. Really catchy, really fun, really good. Top of the amazing tier. Today, perhaps the most iconic Smashing Pumpkins song, and I must admit, it deserves that praise. This is just incredible. The guitar, the intro, the lyrics, the darkness, the heaviness. I love it all. Top of the God tier. Hummer. Another one of my favorite songs ever. This shit is actually just magical. The second I hear that intro riff, I know I'm in for a good time. Some of my favorite guitar from this band as well. Lyrically, extremely well done. Life's a bummer when you're a Hummer is a line I've considered getting tattooed at least once or twice. Iconic track. Top of the God tier. Rocket. Not my favorite song here, but damn near every other song on this record is my favorite song. This is still really good. Phenomenal lyricism again. Just a little more shoegazy than I prefer my music. I'm going to put it behind Crush in the really good tier. Disarm. An absolutely beautiful and heartbreaking acoustic track to change the pace of this record. Incredible track. Some of the best lyricism I've heard from this band. It's an incredible song. One of the most emotional songs I've heard. Top of the masterpiece tier. Soma. I like this track a lot as well. Keeps that same tone from the last track, being absolute devastation, but adds another layer to it. Emotional and a damn good track. Top of the amazing tier. Geek USA. There's just been absolutely zero downtime on this record. Banger into banger into banger. I mean, this is phenomenal. When the bridge starts and the song shifts to that softer side, man, it's just magical. Really good stuff. Top of the masterpiece tier. Mayonnaise. Come on. What is there to say? I personally prefer Hummer, but it's undeniable. This is their greatest track, if you ask me. One of the most iconic intros in rock, with some of the greatest lyricism in music, is a great place to start. It's genuinely a magical song, one of the greatest of all time. Top of the God tier, where I think it's going to stay. Space Boy. God damn it, this is great too. This list is looking a little top heavy, but don't worry. We'll sort that out later. I love this song, really beautiful stuff. Top of the amazing tier. Silverfuck. A track I'm on the fence about. It's damn good, but it's also damn long. Now don't get me wrong, I love me a long song, but this one just feels a little too long to me. Kind of drags a bit towards the center of this track. You make this song 6 minutes long, and I think we're talking about a better song. I'm gonna put it behind Snail in the really good tier. Sweet Sweet, very short track, but you know what they say? Short and sweet. Get it? I don't have any more for this bit. I like this song. It's a great precursor to the next track, but that's about it for me. I don't often revisit this track. Top of the good tier. Luna. If you asked me what I thought the most beautiful track of all time was, this would most certainly cross my mind. I don't think it'd be my answer, but it belongs in the discussion for sure. This is just absolutely incredible. I love it. Incredible lyricism, very strong riff. It's one of my favorites ever, man. Behind Hummer, in the God tier. Onto the often overlooked and certainly underrated B-side record, Pisces Iscariot. It's no Siamese Dream, but it's got charm. It's still got some damn good tracks on it as well. Let's hop in. Soothe. I enjoyed this a lot, actually. This is my first time listening to this record front to back, and I must say I'm pleasantly surprised with this opening track. Incredible stuff so far. Beautiful guitar and some damn good vocals. Back of the amazing tier. Frail and Bedazzled, now onto a much heavier track. I don't like this one as much, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people like this track, but I don't know. It doesn't do much for me. I do like the isolated vocals part a lot, though. Back of the really good tier. Plume. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Billy Corgan's vocals ever as a whole, but man, they reek on this track. This kind of just sounds unpolished to me. Not great. Top of the okay tier. Whir. Much better track here. This bastard just doesn't miss with an acoustic guitar in his hands. Really fun track. Surprised it wasn't on the original record, to be honest with you. Top of the really good tier. Blew Away. This is pretty damn good as well. Really strange sounding guitar, but in that beautiful Billy Corgan way. Vocals are also strange, but not in that beautiful Billy Corgan way. Really good guitar solo, though. Behind Siva in the really good tier. Pissant. This sounds really bland to me. Not much I like here, to be honest with you. I guess the guitar's good. Top of the okay tier. Hello Kitty Cat. I don't like this that much either. This sounds really generic. Top of the okay tier. Obscured. Back to that soft style, which I must say seems to be working a lot better on this project. This is good stuff. Very beautiful track. I like it a lot. A little longer than I might have preferred. The outro overstays its welcome, for sure. Behind I Am One in the amazing tier. Landslide, a little Fleetwood Mac cover for us, and I think the only one I've included in this list. It's just too damn good not to include. Is it as good as the original? Absolutely not, but it's a damn incredible cover. Being that it's a cover, I have to deduct some points, but still, back of the masterpiece tier. Starla, this song comes in at 11 minutes long. That is a long time. Is it worth the 11-minute listen? Absolutely yes. This is an incredible track that just doesn't feel its length at all. Consistently innovating as the song progresses. It's just incredible. Above Daydream in the masterpiece tier. Blue, this isn't nearly as good. In fact, this might be my least favorite track so far. Decent tier. Girl Named Sandoz. I take it back. This is my least favorite track so far. Genuinely bad vocals on this track. Not fun to listen to. Matt tier. La Dolly Vita, we're back in a big way. This is a pretty good song. We're not that back, to be honest. This is just alright. Into the vault of songs I won't listen to again. Back of the good tier. Spaced. And we close the record out on one of the softest whimpers I've ever heard. Really mediocre track. Sounds like an interlude, but to close out a B-side record? Pretty bad decision. I don't know. Back of the Met tier. On to the critically acclaimed Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. If Siamese Dream isn't their best record, then it's undoubtedly this one. Often described as the greatest double album ever recorded, and it does so with very little filler. Let's hop in. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Holy fuck, what an opening track. This might actually be my favorite album opener in all of music. What a perfect track to start this record off with. If this doesn't sound like Infinite Sadness, I don't know what does. I love it, it's underrated, and this might cause some discourse, but I'm going to put it above Disarm in the masterpiece tier. Tonight, Another absolutely ridiculous track. What a beautifully optimistic track from one of the more pessimistic bands I've ever heard. Incredible lyricism, iconic introduction. It's one of the greats. Above Luna in the God tier. Jelly Belly. This is more great shit, but it's not on the level of the last two tracks for sure. It's good, but when you compare it to the rest of this record, it's a little out of place. A polar bear in Arlington, Texas, if you would. I'm gonna put it at the back of the amazing tier. Zero. Come on. I'm not gonna fuck with you. Behind Today in the God tier. Here Is No Why. I don't know what the hell that means, but this song is really goddamn good. Really incredible guitar on this track, incredible lyrics. This is just absolutely phenomenal. It's not the most notable track here, but it perfectly shows why this album is so great. Even the lesser known tracks are this good. Above Disarm in the masterpiece tier. Bullet with Butterfly Wings. Perhaps I've heard it too many times, but damn it if I don't think this song is as good as cats say. It's damn good, but it just doesn't do much for me. It's like a watered down version of Today, I find. Behind Cheryl Brock in the masterpiece tier. To Forgive, this also sounds like Infinite Sadness, but in a completely different way. Almost just despair put into the form of song. Any song that can perfectly capture an emotion like that, I think, deserves its flowers. Behind Soma in the amazing tier. In Ode to No One, this is pretty damn good too. Not quite as good. I like the lyricism a lot here, but it's just not a super memorable listen. Above Siva in the really good tier. Love. It's a little obnoxious, to be honest, a little louder than it has any business being. One of the weaker tracks on this record. Above Tristessa in the good tier. Cupid de Lock. I feel like no other song on the earth sounds like this song. This is really damn good and pretty unique as well. The harp is not an instrument I often hear utilized on rock records, but they incorporated it really well. Very underrated track. Behind Geek USA in the masterpiece tier. Galapagos, incredibly beautiful lyricism, and it's a very beautiful track, but something's missing for me. I don't really know what it is. A little long, I guess. Above Obscured in the amazing tier. Muzzle, one of the most iconic lines in rock to start this track off. It's iconic, it's electric, it's damn good. Incredible track, top of the amazing tier. Porcelina of the Vast Oceans, 9 minutes long again, this one with a 3-minute instrumental introduction. God damn it, they did it again. Another absolutely incredible long track. The intro itself could be a masterpiece, and to be honest, I might even prefer the intro to the rest of this song. Still really good throughout, though. Above Starla in the masterpiece tier. Take Me Down, and now to end off disc 1, Take Me Down. It's not my favorite song on here, to be honest. If it concluded the record, I'd think it'd be a little bit better, but with another half of this record to tackle, I just don't think it works all that well. Pretty good guitar, though. It's a nice ability to let someone else write a song. Top of the really good tier. Where Boys Fear to Tread. What a goddamn riff this track has. The intro for this song might be one of the greatest in music, man, I swear. This is incredible. Behind Daydream in the masterpiece tier. Bodies, really good lyricism, really damn good guitar, but the vocals feel a little off to me. Great place on this record, though. Behind Silverfuck in the really good tier. 33, incredible track. One of their more beautiful tracks with ease. I like it a lot. A track with many different meanings. It's a track I often like a lot. Above Disarm, and I'm going to move Cherub Rock above both of those. In the Arms of Sleep, really strange track here, but it's, again, really damn good. I love the guitar on this track, and another instrument I can't actually identify because I have no qualifications still. Back of the amazing tier. 1979. It doesn't get much better than this. A song that defines the 90s almost without question. It deserves every bit of praise it gets. Incredible track. Above Luna in the God tier. Tales of a Scorched Earth. This must be some kind of mistake. A mediocre track on this record? Nah, this shit sucks, man. I wish this wasn't on the album. Top of the decent tier. Through the Eyes of Ruby. This is pretty good, but not as good as people make it out to be. It's alright. I don't think the 2-minute outro really helps this song at all. Behind Rocket in the really good tier. We Only Come Out at Night. What the fuck is this? This is terrible. I don't like it at all. Top of the okay tier. Beautiful. My God, does this album crumble right at the very end. I don't like this at all either. It's better than the last track, but not by very much. Top of the okay tier. Lily, my one and only. It's alright at best. Really lackluster, to be honest. Behind Beautiful in the okay tier. By Starlight. We're back. Right at the end of the record, but we're back. This is pretty good. Very sweet song. Behind Snail in the really good tier. Farewell and Good Night. Incredible conclusion to the record. I'm glad they at least nailed this. It's not quite as good as the opening track, but this is a really good conclusion. Perfect end to a nearly perfect record. Above Quiet in the amazing tier. On to another B-side record, this one with a bit more meat on its bones. Actually, a lot more meat on its bones. The Aeroplane Flies High, a collection of B-sides from the Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness era. I'm tired, let's go. Said Sadly, another James Iha track. This one I do like quite a bit, actually. Refreshing vocally for sure, but it's also just a solid track. Beautiful acoustic guitar, it's good. Top of the really good tier. You're All I've Got Tonight, not nearly as good. This kind of stinks, actually. Really generic, really mediocre. Top of the decent tier. Clones Were All. This is a bit more unique, but it's still not all that good. It's better than the last track, but so far I'm a little concerned about this album. I'm gonna put it above Love in the good tier. Dreaming, not great again. Uh-oh. A little fresher than the other tracks though, so I'll give it a little bit of credit for that. Top of the good tier. A Night Like This, a little The Cure cover, huh? I like the idea. I also like the execution. This is a good track. Points must be docked based on the cover clause, but this is really good. Above Jelly Belly in the amazing tier. Destination Unknown, my god, this stinks. This is just electronic garbage. I don't have much else to say. Really weak track. Bad song tier. Ugly. This is better. Granted, we are comparing it to the stinkiest shit I've heard in a while, but it is. It's a little empty, though. It sounds like it was building up to something grand, but it just never reached it for me. Behind Beautiful in the okay tier. The Boy, another James Iha track, and I believe my favorite from the man. This is really fun, a really sweet track. I like it a lot. Highlight of this album so far. Behind To Forgive in the amazing tier. Cherry, lyrically pretty good, I guess. I don't know, this isn't all that good. Really bland, not very Pumpkins-like, to be frank. Back of the okay tier. Believe, sounds like Tonight Tonight at the beginning there. Another James Iha track, and another incredible one. This bastard is good. I wonder if he's with any other of my favorite bands. This is great, I like it a lot. Behind Galapagos in the amazing tier. Set the Ray to Jerry. This is pretty solid. This could have made the record, and I don't think I would have batted an eye. It's pretty damn good. Behind Rocket in the really good tier. God. This is solid enough. It's nothing too crazy or memorable, though. Back of the good tier. Mouths of Babes. I must admit, between this song and the last one, I took a short 2-week break and listened to Deftones' entire discography. I got bored. This album is boring. This song is boring. Above Love in the good tier. Tribute to Johnny. I actually took another break between these two songs. This one only a week long, but my god, this is getting a little silly. This is a pretty solid instrumental track, but I won't be back. It's behind Dreaming in the good tier. Marquise and Spades. This was pretty good until Billy started singing, actually. I usually like the man's voice, but it's just really rough on this track. It's not awful, but it's not great. Behind Ugly in the okay tier. Pennies. This is good, I guess. I like it, actually. Maybe we're back. Above Siva in the really good tier. Pistachio Medley. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. What the fuck am I supposed to do with this shit? It's 73, yes, 73 completely different instrumental segments with no transitions back to back to back. The fucking nanosecond you start to enjoy a segment, that shit immediately switches to something completely different. I promise you, I'm looking directly into the metaphorical camera. I'm staring directly into your fucking eyes, okay? I will never listen to this shit again. Ever. Sad Face, bad song tier. Melodori Magpie. This is alright. Reminds me of Pink Floyd a little bit. I like them. I like this. Behind Sweet Sweet in the good tier. Rotten Apples. In the battle for the song Rotten Apples, the Smashing Pumpkins have been absolutely smothered by Alice in Chains. This is really forgettable. Again, it's alright, but I just can't see myself listening to this ever again. Above Love in the good tier. Jupiter's Lament. Not so bad, I guess. I like this one. Billy and an acoustic guitar is typically a recipe for at least moderate success, and that's the case here. Above Pennies in the really good tier. Medallia of the Gray Skies. This is pretty damn good. I like the guitar here, but there's a weird echo in the vocals that makes this a little bit harder to listen to. Really sweet lyrically, though. I'm gonna put it at the back of the amazing tier. Blank. This one not nearly as good. Above God in the good tier. Tonight Reprise. I debated on ranking this one at all, but I really like this a lot. Tonight Tonight is already one of my favorite songs, and the acoustic cover is absolutely sensational here. Really damn good. Changes the tone of the song a lot. It sounds a little less hopeful and a little more authentic, if that makes any sense to you. Above Daydream in the masterpiece tier. The last song, and this isn't even the last song on this record. Anywho, this is, it's okay. More forgettable stuff, to be honest with you. Behind Tristessa in the good tier. The Airplane Flies High. Why is it spelled like that? This is alright enough. A little longer than your typical track, but I think it's pretty damn good. I like it. Above the Boy in the amazing tier. Transformer. I like it a lot. Pretty unique, actually. Back of the really good tier. The Bells. This is nothing. It's alright, I guess. Boring at this point in a 2-hour-long record. Top of the okay tier. My Blue Heaven. A cover track here and an okay one. It's not close to the original. It's not done as well as Landslide was. It's just passable, I guess. Solid enough way to close out the record, though, I suppose. Behind Melancholy Magpie in the good tier. That took far too long. About a month, I think, actually. It's crazy shit. On to Adore, an album that won't drain my entire soul like that last one did. It's got hits. One of my favorite songs in their discography as well. Let's go. To Sheila. This is a pretty damn good opening track. Lets you know exactly what you're getting yourself into with this record. Great stuff. Top of the really good tier. Ava Adore. This is damn near God tier. It's not quite there, but fuck, this song's good. Just a super dark and excellent song. Smiley face from me. Behind Starla in the masterpiece tier. Perfect. This is one of my favorite Pumpkin songs ever. Incredible lyrics, beautiful theme, just really fun to listen to. It's a little misery-inducing, but that's what music's all about, man. Back of the God tier. Daphne Descends. I feel like I've known this song all my life, but there's just no way that's the case. Something about this sounds super nostalgic, brings me back to a simpler time. I like it a lot. Back of the masterpiece tier. Once Upon a Time. I fear this album peaked with those last 4 songs. It's only downhill from here. This is the start of the hill. Not an incredibly steep hill quite yet. Very pretty song, but not one I often revisit. Behind Sweet Sweet in the good tier. Tear? This song starts out really strong, man. There's a weird segment with no instruments that I don't like that much. It's alright, weirdly electronic. Not my favorite here, but it's solid enough. Behind Crush in the really good tier. Crestfallen, more weird electronic shit. This one, not quite as good. Not terrible. Behind Melancholy Magpie in the good tier. Apples and Oranges. I can see why people like this track, but it's just not for me. I'm not really a huge fan of any of this electronic stuff, but know, dear viewer, that this isn't the case with many other bands. I just don't think the Pumpkins really execute the electronic style very well. Above Once Upon a Time in the good tier. Pug, I stand corrected. This is done pretty well. I like it. Pretty catchy stuff. Behind Galapagos in the amazing tier. The Tale of Dusty and Pistol Pete. I like this one. I got high before this song. Please keep this in mind. Behind Siva in the really good tier. Annie Dog. This is not all that great. It's not as insufferable as you might think, but it just doesn't really do anything. It's catchy, but really boring. Behind Apples and Oranges in the good tier. Shame. This is also not all that great. A little long for a track like this. The vocals are unimpressive, but some great instrumentation for sure. Above Stumbleine in the good tier. Behold the Nightmare. I like this one. Interesting lyrically, very beautiful track. Above Silverfuck in the really good tier. For Martha. Wow. What an incredibly powerful song. Really good stuff. One of my favorite openings in music with the piano. I like this song a lot. Very beautiful stuff. Behind Geek USA in the masterpiece tier. I'm also going to take this time to move Cupid the Lock down just a little bit. I'm going to put it behind Ava Adore. Blank Page. This is alright. Sounds a lot like the last track. Also very solemn, but not quite as good, to be frank. Very powerful, very beautiful lyrics as well, though. Great stuff. Top of the good tier. 17. I mean, nothing happened. How could this be any higher than bad song? Now we enter uncharted territory for myself. Those first 4 albums, pretty widely accepted as great albums. This next one, much more controversial. Machina I and II. Some say it's their best, many others say it's 2 hours of pretty stinky shit. Let's find out. The Everlasting Gaze. Really heavy start to this project. I like this a lot. This is pretty good. One of my favorite heavy tracks from this band, actually. I'll put it behind Soma in the amazing tier. Raindrops and Sunshine. This is a little stranger. I'm a little worried now. This sounds more like Adore than their earlier stuff. Very electronic. It's not bad. Above Clones, We're All in the good tier. Stand Inside Your Love. This is solid. I've heard this is the best song on the record, but that I can't agree with. Behind I Am One in the amazing tier. Eye of the Morning. This is pretty good too. I'm liking this project so far. Not the most unique song, but it's generically good stuff, I would say. Behind I Am One in the amazing tier. The Sacred and Profane. I like this one a lot. Unless there's a catastrophic fall-off in the rest of this record, I might like this album more than Adore. Above Blew Away in the really good tier. Try, Try, Try. I'm on the fence here. I like it, but it's not an incredible song. Lyrically, it's a fun track. Vocally, it's not as fun of a track. Above Annie Dog in the good tier. Heavy Metal Machine. This is pretty stinky, man. Why is this even here? It's not great at all. Above Lily in the okay tier. This time, pretty solid track. Nothing special again. Standard good stuff. Above Annie Dog in the good tier. The Imploding Voice. Weakest track so far, I believe. Just kind of unenjoyable to listen to. There's not much good here. Above Suffer in the okay tier. Glass and the Ghost Children. The catastrophic fall-off seems to be coming in. This and the last track have been some huge step-downs. 10 minutes of mediocrity on this track. Very low lows on this album. Above the Imploding Voice in the okay tier. Wound. Maybe We're Back. This is a pretty good track here. Pretty good vocals. I was worried he didn't have it in him anymore, but I think he still has it. Above Rocket in the really good tier. The Crying Tree of Mercury. This sucks again. I thought we were back. We were not back. Unlucky. Behind Tristessa in the good tier. With Every Light. Please make it stop. It's not awful, man, but what the hell is this? No place on this album. No place in my memory. Above Beautiful in the okay tier. Blue Skies Bring Tears. My God. Above Hello Kitty Cat in the okay tier. Age of Innocence. And we end with a bang. Really cold streak there, but this is a great track. Fun listen, I would say. Behind Pug in the amazing tier. On to Machina II, a blatant successor to Machina, but this one not on streaming services because it was never actually officially released. I'm going to cover it for this video, but rumor has it this album is going to be remastered and officially released eventually. So take my ratings with a grain of salt. Whether or not that will actually ever happen, I don't know. Let's go. Glass, not a great start to be honest, just a really hollow track, nothing special here. Above Heavy Metal Machine in the okay tier. Crash Car Star, this isn't great either. Really forgettable again, man, I don't know what else to say. Very generic slop. Not a terrible listen, I wouldn't say. Behind Tristessa in the good tier. Dross, here we go. This is good enough. I think it would still be the worst song on Siamese Dream, but we're getting somewhere. Great guitar riff here. Above Annie Dog in the good tier. Real Love, this is kind of ass, man. Shoegaze has never really been my genre, and it's just not a very fun song to listen to. Not great. Above Ugly in the okay tier. Go. A little James Eha action for us. Always a pleasure. This time no different. It's not fantastic, but it's enjoyable enough. Behind Sweet Sweet in the good tier. Blue Skies Bring Tears, heavy. We covered this track on Machina I, and it kind of stunk, so I thought I'd rank the heavy version. This also sucks. Above the original in the okay tier. White Spider, my dear viewer, I'd like to bring you back to a simpler time. SpongeBob SquarePants was airing. The Jellyfish Jam. This would go crazy on those speakers. I don't think there's a single other applicable time to listen to this track. Painful listen. Top of the Met tier. In My Body, this is alright. It's not good enough to redeem this record, but it would be great filler on Adore. Above Glass in the okay tier. If There Is a God, What the Fuck? A slightly more listenable White Spider, and I mean very slightly. This stinks. Back of the decent tier. Ledoux Machina. I seriously didn't think it could get worse, but it's almost as if Billy Corgan pulled out a cartoonishly large mallet and hit me on the head. Completely pointless interlude, it's disruptive, it's ass, it's back of the Met tier. Here's to the Atom Bomb. The vocals on this track are just really not great, man. I think a remaster might be able to fix that, but what a remaster probably won't fix is everything else here. Above We Only Come Out at Night in the okay tier. And that's the end of the main record there. Attached are 3 EPs I've still got to cover, but I must admit I have had enough of this record. Slow Dawn, this is alright. Much better than most of this record, at least, but it's by no means knocking my socks off. Behind Blank Page in the good tier. Vanity, this is just your typical good shit. Nothing special, but gets a passing grade. A C, but a passing grade nonetheless. Above Dross in the good tier. Saturnine. Super ambitious track, but it's just not that great. Boring ass song. Above We Only Come Out at Night in the okay tier. Soul Power, a James Brown cover, so how bad could it be? It's not that bad, I guess. It's almost offensively worse than the original, but in a vacuum, this isn't a terrible song. Above Annie Dog in the good tier. Lucky 13, I contemplated just yelling into my microphone for this track because, to be honest, that's the only way I can describe the listening experience of this song. Above Suffer in the okay tier. Speed kills. This album kills. Great guitar on this track, at least. A slight recovery with this closing track, but this album is truly and undoubtedly one of the albums of all time, and perhaps even an album in the Smashing Pumpkins discography. Above tribute to Johnny in the good tier. That was pretty dreadful. A quick palate cleanser before I send you on your way. A couple tracks off the greatest hit albums that weren't released on any official records. Good stuff coming. Let's go. Drown. This is the good stuff. This is the great stuff, even. One of my favorite tracks from this band. Absolutely phenomenal. Very fun to listen to. Very catchy. Chef's Kiss. Behind 1979 in the God tier. This is not as good, but it's pretty great still. Above Dreaming in the good tier. Untitled. This is pretty weird, man. I like the instrumentation, but the vocals are just kind of weird. Sometimes great, sometimes really sloppy. It's a pretty good song, though. Behind an Ode to No One in the really good tier. And now we're done. From some of my favorite albums ever to some other albums in history, we've covered them all. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know how wrong I am. Subscribe if you've ever smashed a pumpkin. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.